Yo, it's your boy Marcus Morcini back with a video. Today we're going to be talking about how AW maps work and why they would not be great for COD Mobile. I've talked about a couple of the other Jetpack Call of Duty games, IW and BO3, and how Jetpack maps just simply are not really a good option to bring back to COD Mobile, and AW is no different, right? So with AW, there's a lot of maps in AW, but there are quite a few that have an opportunity where like jetpacks don't necessarily like they just add the verticality in the gunfights. They're not like you have to wall run on stuff. It was just straight jetpacks back then, and dashing. So some of these maps you could just be boots on the ground for a lot of the time. So it's interesting to think how these maps could play as boots on the ground maps. So we'll start off with some of the competitive ones and how those could possibly be intertwined, and then we'll just kind of rattle off the DLCs at the end. That being said, let's talk about Riot. This was like a prison, like a futuristic prison map. It wasn't that bad, but it's definitely one where you can't play it without a jetpack. Honestly, it would be crazy trying to play that one. That could be like a gunfight map though. Next up we got Terrace. Terrace was a phenomenally beautiful design for like a night map, but it's too vertical to play without a jetpack. It just wouldn't be good at all. Biolab is the same way, and it's got like explosive, like biochemical material things that are really annoying on the map. Then you got Comeback. Comeback could actually be an interesting one there. That's the one where I was like, maybe we could add in a ladder here or there, and that will make that map play a lot better. So that's an interesting one to see come back. People loved Comeback back then. That was an awesome map. Compound, I was never a fan of it. I think it's actually currently like the background for the COD Mobile like setting, and it's got a lot of like stairwells and stuff like that, so it doesn't necessarily like not work, but I think it would work better than a lot of ones that are in this game overall. Hence why they might be bringing it back. We just haven't seen it yet. That's why we have it as like the background. Detroit's a good one. I would like to see Detroit come back. I feel like there are a lot of verticality with the gunfights just because how AW played, but you don't necessarily have to do that. So I think it could work. Green Band, definitely a lot of vertical gunfights, and this was a massive map, so I just don't know if that's necessarily gonna work. Recovery was a very interesting map because it was like two maps in one, right? Halfway through the game you would end up being pushed out of this side of the map, like a battle royale style, like by gas, to the other side of the map, and then it would close off and you would play the rest of the game out on that side of the map. Does that work? No. No, it does not necessarily work, but it's such a cool map. It was such a cool idea. I wouldn't mind them bringing it back. Retreat has a lot of verticality as well, but I do love Retreat, man. That's such a classic competitive map, so I would not be mad if they brought back Retreat, or like made it like a Retreat Strike where it was just like half of Retreat, like the right side of Retreat, and not like the down, like low portion where the B flag was. Like, leave that part alone and just start from P1 on over. I think that could actually play really well. Sideshow, I included this one just because it was fun. It was such a fun map. It's like an old western town. I think it's a real place. And then there's like a clown that would shoot bombs out of it in like the middle of the match. It was pretty fun, man. I got a nuke on that map back in the day. Or it was actually called DNA Bomb. Next up, Solar. Solar was a competitive map. I don't think Solar would be good. I didn't really care for Solar in that game. I know that's probably a hot take. People really liked it, but definitely wouldn't be one I want to see back. And then we'll roll through the DLC maps. I'll just kind of give ones that are probably okay or not really okay, and just kind of talk about them that way. Ascend, Atlas Gorge, Chop Shop, Climate, Core, Defender, Drift, Fracture, Horizon. Horizon was a launch map. Instinct was massive. Don't really care for that one at all. Kremlin was an interesting design, but would it work? Not really. But it was cool. Overload, Parliament was interesting as well. I remember that one back in the day. That was interesting. Perplex as well was very interesting. Quarantine, Skyrise, Swarm, and Urban. I liked Urban. I think Urban and Ascend were a couple of ones that I really enjoyed. So those ones I wouldn't mind seeing coming back from AW. And as part of this, I'll probably cover the AW Zombies maps as well, because I know that everybody like that participated in my poll was like, we'd rather AW or we'd rather COD Mobile Zombies just get some new maps in a battle pass instead of just deleting it from the game, right? I don't really care. They could delete it from the game. I'm totally fine with that. But if they're gonna bring back new maps from AW, we got like Outbreak, Carrier, Infection, Descent. These are all terrible zombies maps. So hopefully they don't do that, because these maps suck. They're better than Shino Numa to some people, but to a lot of people, AW has some of the worst zombies maps of all time. So I don't really think there's a lot we could see come back from AW in the map department, aside from maybe Compound or Comeback. And that's really, we've kind of, Detroit would be okay. That's really it, though. AW was not necessarily the best game for maps. It was just so different having jetpacks in a Call of Duty game for the first time. It never really got to the point to where people were like, hey, how would this play on boots on the ground? You know what I mean? And I think for COD Mobile, it would be best that we just never got it, honestly. So let me know your thoughts. If you played AW back in the day, I had 50 plus days played of AW in its life cycle. That was back when I was like young and I could just come home from school and just game. So I had a blast in AW. Speakeasy, ASM1, Battle 27. I wouldn't mind seeing the ASM1 come back, or the KF5. It had a lot of good guns in that game, for me personally. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Here's the KN loadout right here. It's been your boy Marcus from Orsini. I'm out. Peace.